spikenard very costly and anointed the feet of Joshua and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the odor of ointment. Then said one of his disciples, Judah Issachar, Simon's son, which should betray him. Why was not this ointment sold for 300 pence and given to the poor? This he said, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief and had the bag, and bare what was put therein. Then said Joshua, let her alone. Shall she keep it for the day of my burial? For the poor always have with you, but me ye have not always. Many people of the Jews therefore knew that he was there, and they came not for Joshua's sake only, but they that might see Lazarus also, whom he had raised from the dead. But the chief priests consulted that they might put Lazarus also to death, because that by reason of his many of the Jews went away believing on Joshua. On the next day Joshua went out and came to Mount of Olives, and the multitude that were come to the feast, when they heard that he was coming to Jerusalem, took branches of palm trees and went forth to meet him and cried, Hosanna, blessed is the King of Israel that cometh in the name of Yahweh. And Joshua, when he had found a young ass, sat thereon, and as it written by the prophet, rejoice greatly, daughter of Zion. Behold, thy king coming riding upon an ass colt. These things his disciples understood not at first. But when Joshua was glorified, then remembered that these things were written of him, and that had done these things unto him. The people therefore that were with him, when he called Lazarus out of his grave, and raised him from the dead, bore a record. For this cause the people also met him, for they heard that he had done this miracle. The Pharisees therefore said among themselves, perceive ye how ye avail nothing? Behold, the world is gone after him. And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. The same came therefore to Philip, which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and observed him, saying, Sir, we will see Joshua. Philip cometh and telleth Andrew, and again Andrew and Philip tell Joshua. And Joshua answered them, saying, the hour is come, that the Son of Man should be glorified. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a kernel of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. For that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. If any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him my Father honor. Now is my soul troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me for this hour, but for this cause come I unto this hour. Father, glorify thy name. Then came there a voice from heaven, saying, I have both glorified it, and will glorify it again. The people therefore that stood by and heard it said that it thundereth. Others said, an angel spake to him. Joshua answered and said, this voice came not because of me, but for your sakes. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all unto me. This he said, signifying what death he should die. The people answer him, we have heard out of the law that the Messiah abided with us forever. And how sayest thou, the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is this Son of Man? Then Yahshua said unto them, Yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. While ye have light, believe in the light, that ye may be the children of light. These things spake Yahshua, and departed, and did hide himself from them. But though he had gone so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. In fulfillment of the sayings of Isaiah the prophet, which spake, who have believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yahweh revealed. Therefore they could not believe, for Isaiah had said that, He hath blinded their eyes, and hardened their heart, and they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. These things said Isaiah. When he saw his glory, he spake of him. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also many believed on him. But because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of their synagogue. For they love the praise of men more than the praise of Yahweh. Yahshua cried and said, He that believeth on me, believeth not on me, but on him that sent me. And he that seeth me, seeth him that sent me. I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me shall not abide in darkness. And if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I come not to judge the world, but to save the world. He that rejected me and receiveth not my words hath one that judges him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me. He gave me a commandment which I should say, and what I should speak. And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I spake therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. John the 12th chapter.
We have one announcement before we call on the first speaker. Dr. Freddie Allen and Dr. Beverly Allen will be leaving out of town on Monday and will be returning next Saturday.
Saturday week.
Saturday week.
Yeah.
After that, we have the Wednesday class.
No Wednesday class now? Wednesday class will be canceled?
Okay. Wednesday's classes we cancel while I'm gone.
Our first speaker for this morning's lecture will be the Dean of Albuquerque, Dr. Fred Allen, Jr.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Everybody ready for the class, for test?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It won't be that way. Did everybody get a chance to read?
Yeah.
Virginia did.
Okay, good. We're going to do some of the reading anyhow, so everybody's on the same page. Everybody follows the thought. The scripture lesson, the 12th chapter of John, I'm going to try to touch that some too, but if you know the day the world celebrated Palm Sunday, which is a week before the Messiah was crucified. And she said a week before the Messiah raised from the dead, she said that. And so there are a lot of events going on in the world, there's a lot of things being said and being done, the Pope's got in some trouble too, and all kinds of things going on, so just gotta keep all these types of things on the table and look at them as they come up. As an announcement was made, Bev and I will be leaving tomorrow, going back to Cincinnati, then on to Chicago. Chicago, they're having a 2-day conference there, Saturday and Sunday of 3rd and 4th of April. And then we're gonna be back down in Cincinnati for several days. How many days we're gonna be, we don't know, so that's why I can't give a definite time of coming back. It'll either be the following Saturday or the following Sunday, somewhere around that time. I'll try to give Charles and somebody a heads up when you're coming back, so I'll be abreast of that. This year Palm Sunday they have, you find that in the scripture lesson we're reading about when the Messiah was going into Jerusalem, they took palms and leaves were put down before. Now, in the Christian world take these palm leaves and give it to everybody. Sometimes you see the church on Sunday when people get out of church, they run around with a leaf of a palm, and they take them home, and most of them throw them away, whatever happens. But the ones that are left in the church, they take them and burn them. They take the ashes and keep them for the next year for Ash Wednesday.
Right.
See, so I wouldn't have known all that if I had not been an acolyte boy at one time. And I wasn't going to be that, but I wouldn't even remember the church. But anyhow, that happened. And on top of that, when they did this, you can see by the context of the writing that we had in John, the 12th chapter, that the scribes and the Pharisees, they were scared because too many people were believing on him and was not going to the synagogue to see for the services, but they're going to follow wherever he was going, wherever he was at. So when he was coming into Jerusalem, and he said it was and you notice that the things he was doing was in fulfillment of what was in the scriptures. See, now Isaiah did write about what was going to transpire with him, and Ezekiel and several others. They did write about the events that did occur. But the thing I'm going to bear in mind, as you see this unfold, you're seeing the circumstance of the people at the time and how they reacted to the things he said, the things he did. And you see there's a lot of disbelief, didn't really believe. There were some that did believe, but they were not quite sure. So you got all these type of things going on. So you can see why it's still a big problem today, because the world has not really accepted the Messiah and his mission that he did accomplish. So let's see what we can do with this. I don't know how this is going to come out, but hopefully it'll be beneficial to everyone. And what I'm going to have done, I'm going to have I'm going to have some of the lessons that we're supposed to read, or we can reread so everybody will be on the same page. Okay? So what I want to do first is Matthew 28, 1 through 10. I take it 1 through 9. And then I want Mark 16, 1 through 11. After that, we're going to get Luke 1 through 12. 24th chapter. 24th chapter. Oh, I'm sorry. That must have been mine. And then we're going to go to John. 20th chapter, John. And I think I want 1 through about 8, I think. Somewhere around that place there. And then we're going to come back and pick up other places.
Luke 24, what?
Luke 24, 1 through 11.
And Mark 16, 1 through 11?
Yeah, Mark 1 through 11. And I think I'm going to Luke, I said Luke 1 through 12 on it. I think it was 1 to 12. Now this is dealing with that first day of the week. Now, there's some things, there's been a lot of controversy about this death, burial, and resurrection of the Messiah. And one of the things that I've tried to maintain was what Dr. Kennedy taught about that. And your calendar does not always stay the same every year. You all understand what I'm talking about when I say that? If you notice, the Easter's not on the same day every year like Christmas is every December 25th. Or, you'll find it moves around. It's not always on the same day of the month. It could even be in March, could be even in April, late April. So you see a fluctuation around based upon the way they calculate the time for that. So saying that, that you understand, it's kind of hard to reconcile time with the different things that go on, especially with the Gregorian calendar and with the Hebrew calendar. Just a little bit of information. The Hebrew calendar is based upon 360 days a year, whereas the Gregorian calendar is based on 364 and 23 hours and 52 minutes, something like that. So this is so you see the difference in time frame. So with the Hebrew calendar, every 5 years they add another month to their calendar, which makes them 13 months instead of a 12 month. And all that becomes a big problem trying to keep all that together. And when you're trying to calculate, trying to make them to agree with everything. That's why I gave up on trying to figure out anything about prophecy and stuff, because you got too many things, you got to keep too many variables you got to keep in mind. And where Dr. Kennedy had the advantage on us is that he saw in the vision, pinpoint what days and things are going to transpire, and therefore he can rely on what it was shown to him. So, therefore, saying that, you can see why trying to keep this time frame becomes a big problem. Now we're going to read about 4 different writers. 2 was around when the Messiah raised from the dead, and 2 came in a little bit after that, around that time. And you can try to get an idea of how they looked at things, how they viewed things. That's why I had you read them, so you get a comparison, so you understand what's going on with the writers. Okay, let's start off with Matthew.
Matthew 24.
No.
28,
28, I'm sorry.
28 and 1. I think it said to 10, didn't I?
Yeah. 9, 1 through
9, okay.
Matthew 28 and 1. After the Sabbath was passed, and as the day after the Sabbath began to dawn, came Miriam Magdalene and the other Miriam to the sepulchre.
Mm-hmm.
And behold, there was a great earthquake. For the angel of Yahweh descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment like snow. And for fear of him, the keepers did shake and became as dead men. And the angel answered and said unto the women, Fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Yahshua, who was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come see the place where Yahshua lay, and go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And behold, he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him. Lo, I have told you. And they departed quickly from the sepulchre, and with fear and great joy, and did run to bring his disciples word. And as they went to tell his disciples, behold, Yahshua met them, saying, Peace be unto you. And they came and held him by the feet and worshipped him.
Okay, now. What woman do you have recorded there?
Miriam Magdalene and the other Miriam Magdalene and the other Miriam.
Any other Mary? Okay.
Was that Martha's sister?
You got just keep in mind. You try to find who you are. Yeah, I'm trying, because I want to see if we're going to get the same ones around, get the same women around.
Right.
Now, they all three went out. Now, could you go back and read the last verse of the, 2 verses of the
27.
27th chapter?
Pilate,
Go ahead. Oh, that's the thought.
64.
Okay.
Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure until the 3rd day be passed,
Mhm.
lest his disciples come by night and steal him away.
Now, this is the priests. They went and asked to have somebody guard the tomb because they remembered. He said, destroy this temple in 3 days, I'll raise it up again. They thought maybe he might raise it on the 3rd day, so they want somebody to go in and make sure that the temple, that they didn't raise. See, okay. They're gonna try to lock him up, keep him in prison. That's the intent. See. Now all these type of things you keep in mind with that. Go ahead, read.
Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure until the 3rd day be passed,
Mm-hmm.
lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say to the people, he is risen from the dead.
He's risen from the dead. Okay, read on. Mm-hmm.
So the last error shall be worse than the first. Pilate said unto them, ye have a watch.
Now, Pilate, see, he's saying that they have a watch. Some of the priests, they have a watch. In other words, they had soldiers.
Right.
So he said, you send your soldiers and you guard it. You're the one who will keep this thing a secret, you know. Okay, read on.
You have a watch, go your way, make it as sure as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So they went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch.
Sealing the stone and setting a watch. Okay. So you got soldiers there guarding the tomb. See? In a cemetery. Okay. Yes?
No,
Oh, okay.
That's what it means by watch.
Watching, about watch. That's the watch. The soldiers there watching. And they are the ones, they had to make sure that it was secure. Okay. So they sealed it. Okay. Read on.
So they went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch.
Mm-hmm.
After the Sabbath was passed and the day after the Sabbath began to dawn,
And the day of the Sabbath, as the day began to dawn. Okay, read.
came Miriam Magdalene and the other Miriam to the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake.
Okay, there was a great earthquake. Okay, now this is Resurrection Day, or the first day of the week. Okay?
or Sunday.
Now, can you go back and get Matthew 27, 50, let's say 50.
2750?
Mm-hmm.
2750. Joshua, when he had cried with a loud voice,
We got you. Now he's on the cross. See? When did they put him on the cross?
9 o'clock in the morning.
9 in the morning, right. Morning sacrifice, okay? So he's been hanging out there, see, almost 5-6 hours. Okay, he cried with a loud voice, read.
Joshua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the spirit.
Yielded up the spirit.
And behold, the veil of the temple was torn in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks broke.
Now the earth did quake. Now in other words, there's an earthquake at his death. There's an earthquake at his resurrection. Okay? Now, I think in 1962, I believe it was, Alaska,
64, I just read it today.
64, okay, 64.
19 what?
1964,
But what happened?
there was an earthquake on Friday morning,
Good Friday.
and on Good Friday, and earthquake on Sunday morning.
Was Anchorage, Alaska, wasn't it?
So, yeah, I wish they had a very bad earthquake, right, I remember it very bad. Of course, Dr. King talked about it, and he referenced it back to these events to show why that occurred that way. Because he had also prophesied that there would be an earthquake then, and it came just like on time. Matter of fact, I think it was the Wednesday or the Sunday before, he was preaching like mad. And wherever he got to preaching, we look for something to happen shortly thereafter. Because he's caught up in, I know he's in the, you know, when you hear him on tape and he's going real fast, that's when he's gone. And sometimes he don't make know anybody in the room. He's just gone, just preaching. Tying the book together and tying it together. And that's why you have to listen real carefully to hear what's being said. See? And as Bev, when she transcribes things, and sometimes he goes low and all this, she's got to hear right on top of the speaker, so trying to get to hear what's being said to be able to transcribe what he says. So just have that in mind. Now, so when he resurrects now, and then the record we have here is at dawn, before dawn, right? Okay. Now, let's go to the extra. I'm going to get this time frame first, and then we're going to move on. Okay, Mark 16, 1 through 8. Let's take it 1 through 8. I think between 1 to 10, 1 through 8. I'll take it down to, just go ahead and take it down to 10.
16. And when the Sabbath was passed, Mary and Magdalene, and Mary the mother of James and Salome have bought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him.
Now they're bringing sweet spices. Let's read it before I break it out. Let's read it first. Spices, spices.
Spike, you want her to read that? Or
Let's
just
read on that.
read what she's reading
Yeah,
before you break it up?
Yeah, I won't go back. I'm not going to take time to do it now. I want to keep the thought together first.
Okay. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came unto the sepulchres at the rising of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And they said among themselves, who shall roll us away the stone from the door of the sepulchre?
Mm-hmm.
And when they looked, they saw that the stone was rolled away.
Mm-hmm.
And entering into the sepulchre, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment, and they were affrighted.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, be not affrighted. Yea, seek Yahshua of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen, and is not here. Behold, the place where they laid him.
Mm-hmm.
But go your way, tell his disciples and Peter that he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall you see him. And as he said unto you. And they went out quickly and fled from the sepulchre, for they trembled and were amazed, neither said they anything to any man, for they were afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And on the first day of which he arose, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene. From
Okay. What verse is that?
9.
9? Okay. Stop right there. Well, I will read it, because I'm going to, he saw Mary Magdalene first, okay.
On the first day of which he arose, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene,
Mm-hmm.
from whom he had cast out 7 demons.
Mm-hmm.
And she went and told them that they had been with him, and that they mourned and wept. And they,
That's 10.
that's 11.
It's 11, okay, that's good, that's all I want 10. Okay, now we're going to go back again, just a little bit of it. Because now we got a little bit more information here of what occurred. Now Mark, see, he was a disciple of who? Peter. Okay, so he's getting his information from Peter. Okay. Now Mark's a lot of things. Well, I'm trying to keep this thing. My mind's running. Go ahead. They come to the sepulchre, and they wonder how they're going to open it.
How they gonna roll away the stone?
You will find, if you go back, you will find that they watched where he was buried, the women. I think it's in verse 2 and back up in the chapter he talks about. They watched where they buried it. See? And so they knew he was sealed. Now, what were they doing? What were they doing? What were they coming there for? They come there to anoint his body, right? See? Well, when you read in the scripture lesson today,
Right.
what were they doing there?
Body.
The woman, Mary, this is Lazarus' sister, took a oil, but very, very pricey oil, and anointed his body with anointing oil, and wiped his feet and then wiped it with her hair. Now, that means that she was more, I'll say, bowing to him, doing this and washing his, wiping his feet with her hair, while showing that he was supreme. Now, do you remember what he said to her?
Save some of it, or
Hmm?
what was gonna be left, they would.
What was gonna be what now?
Whatever perfume would be left.
Yeah. Now, I wonder, what did he say to them about?
That should be.
Before you have
Oh,
what's
so
old.
it's Sherry that said,
And it should be true.
Let her alone in order that she may keep it for the day of my burial.
You rush, but I want to get.
oh,
Repeat that again. I want that again. What verse is that? So we everybody knows.
12 and 7, John 12 and 7.
John 12 and 7, right. See, I'm trying to make you be able to see, put this thing together, because it's all broken up in pieces. And we put it in a frame that you'll be able to see the full story. This is a week before his death. Well, it should be not quite a week before his death, because he was crucified on a Friday, and that would be about 5 days before, 6 days before, 5 days before. Okay. So this is what happened now. She's anointing his feet, anointing his body with oil, and he's telling them to leave her alone, let her go ahead and do it. Why? Because, now read, 7. 12:7.
Then said Joshua, let her alone against the day of my bearing.
Yes.
Yeah, she kept this.
You see, against the day of my burial, has she done this? So he all at the same time, you see, he already knows he's going to be crucified. He also knows they're not going to have time to anoint his body. So he said this is done, see, for the before time, before his death. Okay, so he was already anointed by what happened on that Sunday before. See, okay, now we go back over to the Luke.
24 and 1.
Mhm.
Now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre. And they entered in and found not the body of Yahshua. And it came to pass, as they were much perplexed thereabout, behold, 2 men stood by them in shining garments. And as they were afraid and bowed down their faces to the earth, they said unto them, why seek ye the living among the dead? He is not here, but he is risen. Remember how he spake unto you when he was in Galilee, saying, the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men, and be crucified, and the 3rd day rise again. And they remembered his words, and returned from the sepulchre, and told all these things unto the 11 and to all the rest. And it was Miriam Magdalene, and Joanna, and Miriam the mother of James, and others with them, which told these things unto the apostles.
Okay, now get me more about Mary now. Mary, the mother of James. See? Mary Magdalene. See? And Joanna. Okay? Now, they gone there first. He's not appeared to any of them yet. They saw 2 men, this is describing 2 men speaking to them, right? Matthew said one inside the sepulchre. But they just go on the outside, they didn't go inside yet. See? Talk about the accounts of where they're giving these accounts. Okay? Then you got, there's another point you need to be brought. Well,
Mark with Salome.
You have where they came into The two men reminded them of what the Messiah said was going to transpire. He's trying to bring it to their remembrance of what he said, that he would raise again the third day. Now, okay, let's go and get John now, so we get this reading done and be able to go to the scripture.
John 20, 1 through 8.
Mm-hmm. John 20, 1 through 11. 1 through what? 1 through what?
1 through 8.
1 through 8? Okay, 1 through 8.
The first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene early, when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchres, and seeth the stone taken away from the sepulchre.
Mm-hmm.
Then she runneth and cometh to Simon Peter and to the other disciple, whom Yahshua loved, and said unto them, They have taken away Yahshua out of sepulchre, and we know not where they have laid him.
Mm-hmm.
Peter therefore went forth, and that other disciple, and came to the sepulchre. And they ran both together, and the other disciple did outrun Peter, and came first to the sepulchre. And he stooping down and looking in, saw a linen clothes lying, yet went he not in.
They didn't go in. And then that was great read.
But when Simon Peter was come, he went into the sepulchre, and see the linen clothes lie, and the napkin that was about his head not lying with the linen cloth, but wrapped together in a place by itself. Then went in also the other disciple, which came first to the sepulchre, and they saw and believed. For as yet they knew not the scripture, that he must rise again from the dead. Then the disciples went away again to their own home. But Miriam stood without the sepulchre weeping, and as she wept, she stood down and looked into the sepulchre.
Now, you got one says before dawn, got one saying it was yet dark. See? So you know it's very early in the morning. Okay? Now, before it was probably yet dark. Now also bear in mind, when we deal with this time frame, see, we got to also deal with who's on the cross, who we're talking about. We're talking about time with him, not time with you and me. Okay? So when it's daytime or light, to him it's day. When it's nighttime, it's darkness or night. So now we got when the Messiah raises from the dead, early in the morning. See? Before sunrise. Because now he is the Son, raising from the dead. Well, what made it phenomenal? What made it phenomenal?
The light, 3 days, the light that illuminated from the angel, right?
Right. When the Messiah raised from the dead, when the stone was rolled away, go back to Matthew and get that, how Matthew described the angel that came down.
And behold, there was a great earthquake. 28:2. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of Yahweh descended from heaven.
The angel of Yahweh descended from heaven.
And came and rolled back the stone from the door.
So it was he that rolled away the stone from the door. But now how can we then run into competition? Remember, you got two soldiers there. They feel as dead men at his presence. And the angel rolled the stone away. What else happened?
and sat upon it.
Read.
His countenance
His countenance
was like lightning,
was like lightning,
and his raiment white as snow.
and his raiment white as snow. So when he appeared, that angel appeared, it turned like daylight. It's still dark time. So far as the world was concerned, it would still be darkness, but to him it was like daytime. He's risen in daytime. So that light, that angel lit up, that's why he tried to make it yellow like a sunrise, with the angel written around on the stone, on the picture, on the drawing here. See? And he's sitting on the throne, on the stone. Okay. And I'm trying to show that that's depicting, I'm trying to show him raised from the dead, and that illumination, that angel brought about light, or made it light, as though it was a daytime. Yeah.
When, before Yahweh took on shape and form as Yahweh Elohim, according to Moses' vision, I'll just say it like that. Because Moses blacked out, and it was, that was darkness
To him.
To Moses.
Mhm.
So when Moses in Genesis heard, let there be light, and there was light, what he saw was Yahweh Elohim. So that was not cosmic light, but that would be like just a spiritual or a, would that be the same kind of light? Being illuminated was a spiritual light. I don't know how to really, you kind of see what I'm asking? Are they
Yeah, I
the
see
same
what
kind of
you're
light, or, I know, because in Dr. Kinney's transcripts and in the textbook, he calls it a cosmic light. Then later on, he says that wasn't a cosmic light, so. But, I mean, what was it, and is that the same light? I guess is what I'm asking.
What did he say?
That he's the light of the world?
He was the light of the world. So when Moses saw the light, he actually seen him. See? When the angel appeared there at the tomb, see? Who was that?
Could have been Gabriel, as a messenger.
I don't think it was Gabriel, yeah, that's what I thought it was.
That's my first thought.
Hmm?
Yeah, well, I think our first thought was that it would have been Gabriel.
Let's have it revealed to us.
That'd be nice.
Revelation 20 and 1.
Well, Michael is a warrior, it had to be him.
Gabriel was a messenger, he had the messenger.
Was he talking? Did he say anything?
Right, there was no
Did the angel say anything?
Yeah, he told the women, talking to women, he had instructions.
Michael Gabriel was talking to two women. Okay. Revelation.
Revelations 20 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw an angel come down from heaven.
Now John on the hour of Patmos was looking back. Saw an angel come down from heaven, and that's what you read with Matthew, that an angel came down from heaven. Read.
Having the key of the bottomless pit.
Having the key to the bottomless pit.
And a great
What's the bottomless pit?
The grave.
The grave. See? It's never full. Somebody's going there today. Never full. Read on.
and a great chain in his hand.
Great chain in his hand. He's linking one age. One age ends, another age begins. Another age ends, there's a chain. That's why you got these balls here overlapping each other, indicating a change representing a link of ages. There's a great chain in there. Now that means he's bringing an end to one age and beginning another age. Okay, read on.
And he laid hold on the dragon.
That's all I need right now. We'll get another story. See? But now this angel will come down. See? And he came down to the bottomless pit, or the grave. Revelation 1 and 18. You try to put the Bible together so you understand, see what's happening with it. You don't have enough fingers, huh?
No, oh, here it is.
Oh, the page got torn out of the Bible. Well, yeah.
I am he that liveth.
I am he that liveth. Now this is John on the hour of Patmos. He's here. He's seeing this one walking with a 7 golden candlesticks in his hand. He said, I am he that liveth
dead.
and was dead.
And behold, I am alive forevermore.
And behold, I am alive forevermore.
And have the keys of,
So who's he talking about?
Joshua.
Talking about Joshua, read.
and have the keys of
Who has what? He's got the keys to the pit. To be in the 20th chapter. See, you're unlocking that grave. Because mankind has been locked in there for 4,000 years. And he has the key to unlock the grave. Okay, read.
the mystery of the 7 stars.
Okay, I'm going to get further. If we get too, I want to make sure we got the end of that statement. So we're talking about this one come down and open the door. Now remember now. See? Yes.
To go back to that angel being the light to bring about the day. Remember, I had 3 questions for Dr. Kelly, but this was one.
Okay, bring it
Because
up.
I heard about a resurrection on the 4th day,
Right.
and I've been in class a couple of years and I just could not see a resurrection on the 4th day. So I went to him and asked him. And he said, and it goes like you started earlier, showing how the different accounts, and it'd be hard to reckon the time, Jewish time and all this kind of thing. But anyway, he was saying, you're not gonna get him in there no 72 hours,
Right.
you know. He said, but if you could only see the brightness of that angel. And he kept saying, you follow me now? I got lost with the brightness of the angel, you know. But anyway, he was explaining it to me and telling me about how with the brightness of the angel that lit up, that just illuminated the place. And the light he called day, and the darkness he called night.
Right.
So he said, this is the mysteries of Yahweh. And he was showing how it was dark. He said when they went to the tomb, it was already dark, but the brightness of that angel. He kept saying that. And he said, you see, and then finally, I didn't want to say I understood. I said, well, I have to think on it, Dr. Kelly. That's all I can say, because I really didn't see it. And I went to bed that night telling me the brightness of the angel. Yeah, but then, as time went on, I could see that that's the light, provided light in darkness, but that was that day, a phenomenal day.
The resurrection day.
So, anyway, that was one of my few questions that I had for him, because he was showing you couldn't pin him no 72 hours, and it could have been a resurrection on the 4th day, which was being taught at that time. Not from the floor, but in little
In private
yeah.
classes. Well, see, folks, I have tried not to bring up a whole lot of issues that come up tonight anymore. Your head would be
Spinning.
messed up.
Yeah.
And enough problem I have trying to keep things straight myself when all these things keep coming up. But I do try to stay with what you have in the book as my anchor. And then go to what Dr. Kenny said on top of this. A lot of things that Dr. Kenny said, you don't have pen in the Bible for. But he saw it and was able to prove what he said by witnessing. So I had to step in that way. So I want to make sure everybody understand that. See, because there are some things he does say that's not in the Bible. But then he also provided witnesses to prove that they do exist. See? Okay, you had a question?
Well, just what you and Beverly had said, I mean, when he died on the cross, it turned dark, from the, 6th and 9th hour.
Right.
So his death started, those 3 days started with a phenomenal
Right,
day,
right.
and it ended with a phenomenal day.
Right.
And then when we count the 3 darknesses and the 3 lights to be making 3 days and 3 nights, how Yahweh looks at it. We never count that phenomenal day at the end there.
Really, it's already done.
It says already done,
Because
because he's written it up.
right, it's written,
So that's the end point.
right.
Right, so that's why you don't count that.
Because when that angel comes out, that's blotted out the darkness.
Right,
That night's past now.
so it's
So
over.
now it's over. Now we get there with the day of
Yeah,
the day is a normal day. Daytime, I say that way.
so the timetable with the 3 days and 3 nights start when he dies and it turns dark, and it ends when he resurrects,
Right,
and that's it.
right.
But that's just another phenomenal day after he resurrects.
Well, this is all it is that
At the
illuminates.
same time, I should say.
Now I say this was when that angel came down, that became the beginning of the next day.
Mhm.
Even though there's Mary Magdalene, they coming in, it was still dark to them.
Right.
But those that when those let's so hard. I try to keep all these things in my mind, try to make it plain, and as I think about other things that need to be brought in with this, so. See, you're gonna read about it in a few minutes about these soldiers. See, they go back and report. It's in the 28th chapter of Matthew. They go back and report. They did raise. They did raise. See? Now remember they put them there so to keep his disciples coming to take his body away. But now they're coming back to report he already raised. And the disciples didn't come, but we didn't have to fight nobody. So they felt it was dead man because of the light of that angel. And by that happening to them, now they're going back to report what they witnessed to. Okay? Now, we're going to read that in a few minutes. I was trying to get this resurrection done. Now, he's risen, now he's appearing to them. They don't recognize him. See, at this point. Now, we remember that the three women went to the sepulchre. When he raised from the dead, they came out. Now, they hear the angels telling them he's risen. And they depart. You find that Miriam stayed a little while. And while she was standing there, she was, baffled by what has happened. And she sees a garden. I think that's what you are recording. Going back to Matthew, let's go back and read Matthew was in Luke. I think Luke gives the account. So with about the 11th verse. No. No, before you do that, get Mark 16, 11, and 12. You're talking about he's raised from the dead now. Wonder how he appeared to him. Okay, read.
And when they had heard that he was alive.
When they heard that he was alive, talking about the disciples, when they heard that he was alive, read.
And had seen of her, believed not.
Have seen that her Mary come back and told them what she had seen, read. They believed not.
After that he appeared in another form.
After that he appeared in another form. Now I'm trying to show he's not in the same form he was when he was put in the tomb. He appeared in another form. Or we call it incorporeal being. He appeared in another form. So now when we talk about him seeing him now, he's in this incorporeal form. We're going to talk about that more later on, but he's in the incorporeal form. Finish it up, brother.
Unto two of them as they walked and went into the country.
Unto two of them as they walked into the country. And we're going to put that back up in Luke again now. See? So I'm trying to, that's the only place you have a kind of he appeared in another form. So you can see that he's not in the same body he had before. See? So when they look at him, when they see him after he raised from the dead, he's not a physical man. He appears to them physically, but he's not physical. Okay. Oh, look at one. I see that.
Well, then, it's something that had grabbed his feet.
He had me. When look, Juan, let's say it this way, so everybody understands. He tells over there in the second chapter, in the 21st chapter of John, he tells Thomas, stretch forth that hand, put your hands in the nail prints, and into my side.
Right.
He's telling him to do that. Right over here where they came and grabbed him by his feet. When they recognized it, they didn't have to do that. After they see him, they didn't have to do that. They recognized, therefore, that means they accepted him as being him raised from the dead. When they saw, they confirmed that was him.
Wait a minute, say that again.
I'll say that if somebody passed And if they happen to appear to you in a vision, come back in your vision, is he gonna come back as a frog? Or a beast? He gonna come looking just like he did before, but he won't be real, won't be live.
Won't be physical.
It won't be physical, it'll be an apparition. You recognize him, you recognize who it was, by the features and all.
It'll be real. but
It'd be a real,
But not physical.
so now, personally, I have not seen any apparitions myself personally. Some people I've been around, associated with, they have seen it. And they have, some of them haven't seen, some of them testify they have seen it. See? I guess one of my first encounters was about when Dr. Gross's first wife died. He lived over in Windsor Boulevard in Los Angeles. And their girls that was in their two daughters, Mary Gross's two daughters, they were in the house. And they saw their grandmother. And they were somewhat concerned about it, so they asked Dr. Kennedy about it. And he said, yes, that was an apparition, that her appearing there. See, so I'm done by appearing after her death. Now that's when he appeared. Now they recognized who it was. They told me they saw grandma. So talking about Dr. Gross's granddaughter. Okay. Talking about Dr. Gross's mother. Wife. Get these things straight, wife. See, so now I'm just saying that people have had experiences with that. And to the point that you and I should be able to appreciate that when you witness these type of things, when you see these, when you read about these things, you'll be able to have some confidence or faith that they do happen, they do exist. Okay. So now we're talking about the Messiah's raised from the dead now. And then we read, okay, now where we at now in the, you read Mark, now go back to Luke. I think you read the 11th verse, 12th verse. You read down to the 11th verse, I think you want to go to the 12th verse. Start with 13 and read down.
And behold, two of them went the same day to a village called Emmaus, which was from Jerusalem about 7½ miles.
And you see how Mark brought up by the two, he appeared into two of them
Another form.
in another form? See, now what we're here now, appeared up in Luke, the two men going to Emmaus. See? Read on.
And they talked together of all the things which had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass that while they communed together and reasoned, Yahshua himself drew near and went with them.
Mm-hmm.
But their eyes were holden that they should not know him.
Okay, now, I'm going to bring this up so everybody be blessed. Now, there's sometimes, some have taught, this drawing here shows the two men going to Emmaus. That's not correct.
Persecution.
This is talking about after the persecution being driven out of Jerusalem, going on their way to preach to God, fleeing for their life, what they really doing. But they're going by two, see. But the two men, after his resurrection, this has happened before, the two men, this has happened before Pentecost.
Right.
We read about these two men. This has happened before Pentecost. So this is during the 40-day period from the time he raised from the dead. Well, actually, this is actually the same day he raised from the dead, actually, we're reading right here. Same day. Okay, read on now.
And they talked together of all these things which had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass that while they communed together and reasoned, Yahshua himself drew near and went with them.
Mm-hmm.
But their eyes were holden that they should not know him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, what manner of communications are these that ye have one to another as ye walk and are sad?
Mm-hmm.
And the one of them, whose name was Cleophas, answered and said unto him.
And that meant Joshua was eavesdropping.
Yeah.
He listened to the conversation. Okay, read on.
And one of them, whose name was Cleophas, answering, said unto him, art thou only a stranger in Jerusalem, and hast not known the things which are come to pass there in these days? And he said unto them, What things? And they said unto him, Concerning Yahshua of Nazareth, which was a prophet mighty in deed and word before Elohim and all people, and how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death, and have crucified him. But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel, and beside all this, today is the third day since these things were done.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, and certain women also of our company made us astonished. That proves that it was before Pentecost.
Right.
Yea, and certain women also of our company made us astonished, which were early at the sepulchre.
Mm-hmm.
And when they found not his body, they came saying that they had seen a vision of angels which said he was alive.
Mm-hmm.
And certain of them which were with us went to the sepulchre and found it even so as the women had said. But him they saw not.
So it says certain was with us.
And certain of them which were with us went to the sepulchre and found it even so as the women had said.
Who's reporting?
That's Peter here. Isn't it? Or
Luke
this
is.
Cleophas here talking.
Luke is right.
Luke is right.
Oh, Luke's right here, but Cleophas is talking here.
Luke is writing about this. Okay? Now, he wasn't there. He's getting his information from who?
Paul.
From the Apostle Paul. He wasn't there.
Right.
See, we're doing some mind reading now. We're going back to what they saw, what the things they saw in visions and revelation they saw. See? Saul or Paul, see, he got his after this persecution started. This is about 3 or 4 years after the resurrection of the Messiah. So that Luke being a companion of the Apostle Paul is delivering unto him what he saw that took place, that he always showed him about his death, burial, and resurrection. See, remember now, Luke was a
Physician.
I'm gonna say Paul or Saul. He was striving to be a great leader of Israel. And he believed him because he was raised a Pharisee, he believed in keeping the law of Moses. And because of that, he was zealous in trying to make people keep and believe the law of Moses. But on his way down to Damascus with letters of authority to put anybody that teach against the law of Moses in prison or to have them killed. See, then he was on that mission to do that. But when Joshua appeared to him on the way down to Damascus, in the 9th chapter of Acts, Yahweh appeared and made known that he was the one that was dead and raised from the dead. And I say that because Luke, being that he was in the Sanhedrin council in the temple at the time, see, who was his teacher?
Paul?
Yes, Paul, the Paul.
Gamaliel.
Gamaliel.
Oh, I thought you said Luke's teacher.
No,
I'm lost.
no, I'm talking about the Apostle Saul or Paul.
Oh, who taught Paul?
Right.
Okay. I said at the feet of Gamaliel.
Gamaliel. He said it for the Gamaliel. Now Gamaliel was up there in the temple. See? We didn't bring that up. I'm trying to go this step by step now. I gotta go. What we're talking about, this is all on the same day, folks. This was a busy, busy day. I'm talking about the Messiah raising from the dead. See? Can you just hold where you're at there and go back to Matthew and pick up where you were at there in Matthew. I think you're around 13. I want to give one. I'm going to tell you when you come back and report to San Diego County.
28:11.
Were you always reading this? Did those that read this, did it always come together for you to see what was being said?
No.
Not like that.
Not like, yeah.
bet.
That's why I had y'all to read it, so you have to be a preference, be kind of sort of be able to put it together later on, be able at least be able to have some inkling about it. See? Because if you haven't read it, then it wouldn't make much sense at all. But the point I'm trying to get is when you read the different accounts, they do have appear to have some conflicts. But you gotta go back and break it down and see what was transpired. Okay? Is this being helpful? If not, we'll just change the thing and go on. Jeez. See? Okay, let's read on.
2011.
This is Matthew 28:11. Okay, read.
Now when they were going, behold, some of the watch came into the city, and showed unto the chief priests all the things that were done.
Now, who's the chief priest now?
Caiaphas.
Caiaphas you know, there's a John, there's a chief priest, John was the priest too. There's a name, his name from
Caiaphas was the high
Caiaphas, that's what I want to get. Caiaphas and
Felix,
John,
Festus, and Agrippa.
and there's who was Saul,
Gamaliel's gotta be there somewhere, don't he?
Paul's teacher,
Gamaliel.
Gamaliel.
Yeah, Gamaliel.
He was there too. When the soldiers come, when the soldiers come up to the temple, Gamaliel was there in the room. And they reported to him what had happened. That's why I'm trying to get you to see it. But now Gamaliel does not tell Paul what they reported. That's how come he's going out, he's willing to go out to anybody this because he didn't understand, he didn't realize Messiah's raised from the dead. So therefore, he's thinking that he hasn't risen from the dead. And they didn't know much of, the man was around, but didn't know much about what he was doing, what was coming. But they kept it from him. Gamaliel was one there was in the synagogue when the soldiers come back and they report. Okay, continue reading now.
And when they were assembled with the elders
When they were assembled with the elders,
and had taken counsel, they gave large money to the soldiers, saying, Say ye, his disciples came by night and stole him away while we slept. And if this come to the governor's ear, we will pursue him and secure you.
we're persuaded. Now look, let me show you. Have y'all heard anything about this recently?
About what?
How the Senate, they bribed people to vote for this health care program. Congressmen to bribe to vote for this health care program. I'm just trying to show the seminary what's going on. They're still doing the same old thing. I can't get my way, I'll buy it from you. I want you to vote for this, but what do you need? And they would pay them some money or get some whatever they want done for them to get their vote. They're saying that here you're down here now, they bribed you. Okay, read on.
So they took the money
They took the money.
and did as they were taught.
Now these are soldiers. And what were they supposed to report? What were they supposed to report when somebody asked them what happened? When
The
the Lord
disciples stole his body.
So the disciples came and stole his body. They got paid to lie. Okay, read on now.
And this sin is commonly reported among the Jews until this day.
Now remember, this is writing 20 years later. They still had it in their minds still 20 years later. So you see, this thing about the resurrection is a big problem. See? Yes, Mona?
If they were to have fallen asleep, they should have killed them, right?
That's right.
Yeah, right.
Because
That's
that
right.
was the penalty, so.
Yeah, but look how they
So
cover
they
themselves.
lived to tell a lie.
Right. Well, yeah, but look how. Go ahead and read.
Then the 11 disciples
Oh
went
no,
away.
go back to verse 2. I want to get what they bribed him with the money. I want to go back to that bribing.
And when they were assembled with the elders and had taken counsel, they gave large money unto the soldiers, saying, Say ye, his disciples came by night and stole him away while we slept.
Read on.
And if this come to the governor's
Now, if
ear,
this comes to the governor the ones that you were supposed to report to,
Mm-hmm.
see, that would kill you because you were asleep on the job. What?
We will persuade him.
You would persuade him also, because they want that lie to go out. You see how the bribe is going on the whole thing? See? Okay, read up. Oh.
Well, not only would it have been death to the soldiers, if, nothing would have been done to protect them, because they fell asleep, but also because they didn't do their job.
Right,
Because Yahshua's, if that story was true, that that his disciples came and stole his body away, well, they didn't do what they were told to do.
Right, that's true.
So either way, it was dereliction of duty
Right,
and punishment by death.
right, that's right, correct.
So they had some big political pull there
They had to.
with the governor, you know, with Pontius
But
Pilate.
they were supposed to, if the soldiers came, they were supposed to be able to fight to keep them away from stealing the body away. See? But Yahweh had somebody else a little bit bigger than they were.
Would that be backed up by when Paul was in prison,
Mm-hmm.
and the earthquake took place, and the jailer just knew that they had escaped and he's gonna kill himself because he knew he would die,
Right, right.
you know, and Paul said, do yourself no harm, we're all here. Yeah.
Right.
So that would have been
Same
dead.
thing, yeah.
Right. So you see that all stuff is under the threat of being killed. See? They want to get rid of the Messiah. See, because he's drawing too many people away from the temple. See? They want to get rid of Lazarus because Yahshua raised him from the dead and he becomes a good witness for them for more people to join him. See? Now here's the soldier there, they didn't do, how come the soldier didn't take on the angel? See? All you had to do is one of those sweet food. See? When Yahweh caused the earthquake, you've seen pictures of the earthquake, how the things can move completely out of place. See? But no problem with that stone to roll out of the way when the earthquake quaked. Because they roll out of the way and they can go in if they want to go in. See, okay. Read on where you at, back away, reading, I'm sorry. So, back, you still in Matthew? A little bit more than Matthew, down further.
15 verse. So they took the money and did as they were taught. And this sin is commonly reported among the Jews until this day.
Right.
Then the 11 disciples went away into Galilee, into a mountain where Yahshua had appointed them.
Okay, that's good enough. Now go back over and Luke now. I'm sorry, but I got to read back and forth because it's all broken up in different pages. But the only way I can do it is to make it make sense. It may not be making a whole lot of sense to everybody here, but at least have a little bit better idea. Now you go back and read it again and say, well, he said that, he said that. And try to put it back, make it more sense later on. Okay, read on.
Where at it, Luke? We stopped at one time.
On 20th, I think. Let me see what.
You're down where after he appeared to him and told him, you're about down 25, close to 25, 24.
We read 25.
You read 25? Yeah, okay.
I mean, we read 24.
Right.
It says, and certain of them which were with us went to the sepulchre and found it even so as the women had said.
Right. Now, that's why I went back. Okay, read on.
25.
Mhm.
Then he said unto them, O fools and slow of heart.
Now, y'all hear this read all the time. So this is familiar with this part, okay. But did you remember all the stuff above that before you took it? Read on.
O fools and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Ought not the Messiah to have suffered these things and to enter into his glory?
Mhm.
And beginning at Moses and all
Beginning
the
at
prophets.
Moses. Okay. Where would they go to in Moses to talk about the Messiah?
Exodus.
Deuteronomy 18.
Do what?
18, 15, or 19.
18:15, okay, Deuteronomy 18:15. Where else in Moses writing?
Exodus.
Let's talk about the Messiah.
Oh, the 21st chapter of Exodus, is that 21st? Where's that angel that went before him and the lamb
Right.
in Exodus, Genesis, the
What are you
First
looking
chapter.
for? You're looking
all
for
over the place.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to show your mind the thing about if Messiah is referring to going back to Moses. Well, where did he go back to Moses and talk to him about?
You want to great
Lamb.
detail all over the
Genesis
place.
1:1.
Could have been
Back to the
anything.
lamb.
Death, burial, resurrection.
Genesis 3:15, Genesis 21:18, Genesis 26:4. Go to Genesis 26:4. What's the matter?
What, you got a question?
See, I'm trying to, when the scripture says, this is written, go back and try to find out what it's written about. Where is it written at so you understand? It was saying that about him. What did it say about it? Now, when you read that in Genesis 26:4, you're reading about
The promise.
you're reading about Isaac. Yahweh appeared to Isaac. And telling him, no, Israel, promise, Israel. No, Isaac.
It's Isaac, yeah.
Isaac. Appeared to Isaac and tell him what he's going to do with his offspring. Okay, it all this just come from information. It agrees with what he told Moses, what he told Abraham, what he told Jacob. See, repeating the same thing over about him coming in. See, those are places you read about. That's what you read about in Moses is writing about the Messiah's going to have to die and go to, and well, he's got to be planted to have offspring. See, I can ask you all a question real quick here. What would be the first indication to mankind about a resurrection?
Adam.
The seed of vegetation?
First indication. the
To man.
creation.
Oh, to man.
To
Maybe a seed put in the ground?
When you
The
roll
sun
down-
rising in
A bird.
the morning?
I mean, let's make it a bit clear. When Yahweh spoke to man,
Moses.
Ask all that question
In
together,
Exodus?
wasn't it?
I asked the question, when was the first time that Yahweh speak? I didn't put all that in there, but when Yahweh spoke to mankind about resurrection,
Be fruitful and multiply.
be fruitful, multiply.
Wow.
Well, is that right? Is that right? Or is that not
I
right?
mean, it was not coming into my. That's true.
He Yahweh told Adam, be fruitful and multiply. You can't multiply unless there be a death, a burial, and a resurrection. He can't have offspring until he died. Because the seed's in him, and it's going to come forth. There's going to be a resurrection. That's your
Inside information.
Now that's in your first chapter, the first chapter of Genesis. See? You can go back in go further in that chapter and read about the earth resurrection. See, but I'm just talking about with man. I said that's with man.
Oh, yeah.
I try to qualify what we're saying about it. Were you gonna see that?
Yeah, I see it, but I never thought of
This is the kind of questions I ask, but I'll trust him with your mind to think. Okay, now. So now that was dealing with what Moses wrote. Now back over in 24th chapter of Luke. And then it says, and the prophets. So now what does the prophets write about the Messiah? His death, about his death and stuff. About his what's going to transpire. I'm still making your mind, Sam. You all thinking now, aren't you? Ain't got too many people sleep on me today. Okay. Now, my point I'm trying to do is make you think about, well, what did the prophet say about the Messiah?
Jonas?
Give me Psalm 16:10. Jeremiah 32, 13 and 14 and 15. I can give that. I can give some of y'all go to often too. You all go to a lot of them. Isaiah 53, 53rd chapter, Psalms, 22nd chapter Psalms. Those are all those things are talking about the Messiah, what he's going to do during his, when he comes in the earth. See? And there's a lot of things to deal with it, but Isaiah, I think you get Psalm 16 and 10, it's talking about
Thou wilt not leave my soul in hell.
Get the verse above that, please. 9, I'm sorry.
Therefore my heart is glad,
Therefore my heart is glad, read.
and my glory rejoiceth.
Mm-hmm,
My flesh also shall rest in hope.
mm-hmm.
But I will not leave my soul in hell.
I will not leave my soul in here. In other words, his body was not going to be in the grave and go to decay or
Right.
rot. Okay, read on.
Neither will thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption.
Mm-hmm. See, so now that's him prophesying about the Messiah not going to be in the grave that long. See?
So that backs up that his body was consumed.
Right. He also confirmed over there in the first chapter of Acts and the 32nd, 34th verse there. Somewhere in there.
2:31.
2 what?
2:31.
231, okay.
Where Peter's preaching.
Yeah, previous speech about it on the day of Pentecost.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about what they thought about if David was saying this, so was he talking about David or was he talking about somebody else?
Yeah,
And he was trying to show that because David's body, his tomb is still with him today, so he's right. So he has to be talking about somebody else, talking about the Messiah was crucified and raised the third day. See? So you can see these things there. Give for me Isaiah 50. Pick it up at the 3rd verse and read down, please. I'm just trying to pick some things that, I'm trying to make you be aware of the Bible, aware of what the scriptures are saying about the Messiah, and things like that. Sometimes we don't go through all these scriptures all the time, and I think sometimes it's beneficial to help.
50 and 1.
We got some more, I can use some more now. Okay.
Thus saith Yahweh, where is the bill of your mother's divorcement?
Where is this the bill of your mother's divorce? Were you at the first verse?
Yes.
No, the rest of it, well, yeah, I said 3rd verse, go ahead and read.
Whom I have put away,
Whom I put away.
or which of my creditors is to whom I have sold you?
Mm-hmm.
Behold, for your iniquities have you sold yourselves, and for your transgression is your mother's put away.
Israel, they corrupted, they sold themselves. Therefore, remember, he's married to Israel. See, you're talking about being divorced from him. Read on.
Wherefore, when I come, was there no man? When I called, was there none to answer?
When I come, was there no man? Was anybody helping him? Was he up there before council, when he was trying to accuse him? Was no man step and said, no, he didn't say that, or he didn't do that? Read on.
Is my hand shortened at all,
Mm-hmm.
that it cannot redeem, or have I no power to deliver?
Mm-hmm.
Behold, at my rebuke I dry up the sea.
At my rebuke, I dry up the sea. When I told Israel, come to stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh. And he dried up the sea and went through on dry land. Read on.
I make the rivers a wilderness.
I made the rivers a wilderness.
Their fish stinketh, because there is no water.
Do you remember when he caused the plague down in Egypt? Because the plague, the water turned to blood, the fish stink. Read.
And died for thirst.
Mm-hmm.
I clothe the heavens with blackness.
He said, I clothe the heaven with blackness. Remember he's on the cross? Turned dark in midday. He clothed the heart with a cloud. Read.
And I make sackcloth their covering.
And I made sackcloth their covering. Read.
Yahweh has given me the tongue of the learned.
He
that
gave
I
me
should-
the tongue of the learned.
That I should know how to speak a word in season to
Uh-huh.
him that is weary.
Mm-hmm.
He waketh morning by morning.
He waketh morning by morning, read.
He waketh my ear to hear the
He
teaching.
waketh my ear to hear. You come down to class to hear the gospel of preaching. Read.
Yahweh hath opened my ear, and I was not rebellious, neither turned away back.
Thank you, Yahweh, that he spoke to me and I heard. I heard what he said and I agree with what he said. I'm not going to go back on it. Read on.
I gave my back
I
to
gave
the
my back
smiters,
to the smiters. Read.
and my cheeks to them that pluck off their.
And to my cheeks to them plucked off my hair. You go back over in Matthew, you find that's what they did. Pulled it through and put it in and beat it. See, read.
I hide not.
Why did they do that? Why did they pluck out his beard? See? Go back and read the night Yahweh told Adam the day you touch, you should surely die.
Thorns and thistles.
Thorns and thistles.
Thorns and thistles come, that's after, told him, you touch your feet, you surely die. But after that, he caused the earth, he cursed the ground and caused it to bring forth thorns and thistles. And man came from the earth, see? So somewhere he got to bear that kind of witness, and thorns and thistles, so his beard. Thorns and thistles come forth. See? Some women like beard, some women don't. I ain't gonna get into all that. That's a woman thing. Some men do, some men don't. See? But nevertheless, I'm trying to show that the beards coming forth come as a witness to the ground bringing forth thorns and thistles. See? So now when they go and pluck out his beard, because now remember he went into the valley of Nazareth when he was baptized with John. So his beard is grown about 3 years. See? So when they plucked his beard, that was rooting up that sin. Plucking his beard and causing his body, when you root up your hair, you got some blood, well, some blood from that too, you know. See? It was a bloody mess when they got through it. See? And he made a man, he took his own man's part, took his own punishment. Put himself through. Okay, read on a little bit more. Because I'm talking about, this is the 50th chapter of Isaiah. You're talking about, give my back to the smiters. See? And my beard, pluck my beard. Okay.
And my cheeks to them that pluck off the hair.
Mm-hmm.
I hide not my face for shame.
I hide not my face for shame. Remember, he stand there in the council and said, are you the son of Yahweh? Are you a king? He didn't. See? He said, and then, Pilate, and then you had, who was the other king, the governor?
Herod.
Herod. Yeah. They sent him to Herod. Herod says, scored him. Then they sent him back to Paul. So they sent him back to Paul. See, but now when they scored him, that's when they put on him.
Purple robe.
Put a purple robe which represents royalty, right? See real, blue, purple, and scarlet. See? Purple represents kingship. Put a robe on him, dress him up as king. So, well, you're going to be a king, let's give him a crown. They made him a wreath out of thorns and thickles. Thorns and thickles. You know what I'm saying? I'm crucified and then it's terrible, but that's all right. You should know he got a crown of thorns. Okay. They put it on him. They mocked him. See? They blindfolded him. Then they asked him to touch him. Say, who hit you? Who touched you? They try to challenge him to see if he read minds, we know who we are and that type of thing.
Samson.
They roasted him. They roasted him. Mocking him, right? Then what did they do on top of that? Read.
For Yahweh will help me.
Uh-huh.
Therefore shall I not be confounded.
Mm-hmm. Read.
Therefore I have set my face like a flint,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that I shall not be ashamed.
Right.
He is near the justifieth me, who will contend with me.
Mm-hmm.
Let us stand together, who is mine adversary.
Did it say about spitting his face?
That's 6 verse.
Did I pass it already?
I hid not my face
Did
from
you get
shame.
down? You read it yet?
She read it.
Okay, I must have missed it then. Okay.
I hid not my face from shame and spitting.
I was trying to stop before he got to the word and then pick up at that point. Because I was trying to show him when he was being mocked, they spit him, and he didn't turn his face from him. See? So you see it now, you know, you would think that's the worst thing that somebody can do to you. See? But now, all that he went through, see, when it should have been us. He did that for us. That's how much he loved us, his offspring. See? Okay, that's Isaiah 50. Let's get one Jeremiah 32, 15.
Jeremiah 32.
Mm-hmm. Then we're gonna read one more.
Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Take these evidences, this evidence of the purchase,
Wait. Jeremiah,
32:14.
I think it's 15.
maybe it's 15. Is it 15?
For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, houses and fields and vineyards shall be possessed again in this
Oh,
land.
I know it. I got the wrong book. It's supposed to be Ezekiel. I'm sorry. Ezekiel 34, 14, 15. I know we missed
Ezekiel
the book.
32,
32,
14
14
and
and
15.
15. I think it's
Then will I make their waters deep and cause their rivers to run like oil.
33. 14, 15.
Again, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, if you turn from his sin and do that which is lawful and right, if the wicked restore the pledge, give again that he has robbed.
I missed it. Let's go on. Let's I can give them some other time.
But he was calling some.
Ernie, what does it say?
Huh?
Can you say something, what does it say?
What is the scripture?
Oh.
What thought?
I don't even remember what it even starts with.
Talk about the Messiah.
What are you looking for, Brett? Praise?
Jeremiah 33, 14 and 15.
Jeremiah 33.
And then
Behold, the days
then it give me
come.
Ezekiel 34, 23.
Jeremiah 33:14.
Mm.
Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will perform that good thing which I have promised unto the house of Israel
Mm-hmm.
and to the house of Judah. In those days and at that time will I cause the branch of righteousness to grow up unto David, and he shall execute judgment and righteousness in the land.
And it's talking about the Messiah. He's the branch of righteousness. See, you also have it verified there in Jeremiah 30, 23, 5, that he's the branch of David. So you're seeing he's coming down as being David's seed in prophesying. Okay, that's another thing. We'll go back to. Huh? Yeah, I did say Ezekiel 34,
23.
23, yeah.
Ezekiel 34:23.
Mm-hmm.
And I will set up a shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David.
We read back over to John the 10th chapter, he said, I'm the good shepherd. So now he says prophesying that. Read.
He shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd.
He shall feed them and he shall be their shepherd. Read.
And I, Yahweh, will be their Elohim.
And I only will be that Elohim. Read.
And my servant David, a prince among them.
My servant David, he's going to be a prince among them.
I, Yahweh, have spoken,
Mm-hmm.
and I will make with them a covenant of peace.
I'm going to make it with them a covenant of peace. Read.
And will cause the evil beast to cease out of the land,
Mm-hmm.
and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness and sleep in the woods.
Okay, thank you,
That
that's
was
what I
it.
wanted, that's enough of that. See, I'm just showing, these are prophecies there, and the prophets prophesying about the Messiah, where Joshua was open their understanding about the law and the prophets testified of him, back over in the 24th chapter of Luke,
Right.
and the, you're at the 26th verse there.
25th, yeah.
Go back there, and continue reading there. Matter of fact, we're just gonna read the rest of that chapter and conclude then.
Luke 24:26.
Uh-huh.
Ought not the Messiah to have suffered these things and to enter into his glory? And beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded unto them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself.
The things concerning himself. Now, he's coming in the volume of the book, the law and the prophets, see, doing whatever the law and the prophets said for him to do. He's supposed to be the seed of David, seed of Abraham. See, now that seed had to be read in the scripture there, the 12th chapter of John, I think it was the 24th verse. Said there's not a seed has to be
Die before it's quickened.
you have to go forth and die and then be quickened before it raised. So he had to die and raise from the dead to be our salvation or our righteousness. Okay, you know.
And they drew nigh unto the village whither they went,
Mm-hmm.
and he made as though he would have gone further.
Mm-hmm.
But they constrained him, saying, Abide with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is far spent. And he went in to tarry with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, as he sat at the table with them,
He sat at the table with them, read.
he took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave to them.
Now here's the disciples. They sit up there listening to him. These are the two men on the way to the man. This is the same he's talking to. He breaking bread. And what happened, read?
And immediately their eyes were opened,
Mm-hmm.
and they knew him. And he vanished out of their
He
sight.
vanished out. Now, does that sound like a physical form? See? I can't do that. See? So he had to be in another form. Okay? He vanished out of sight. Now what happened to do now? What happened now?
And they said one to another,
They said one to another.
Did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way,
Mm-hmm.
and while he opened unto us the scriptures?
Well, he opened the scriptures unto him. Okay, read.
And then they rose up the same hour and returned to Jerusalem, and found the 11 gathered together,
Mm-hmm.
and them that were with him, saying, Joshua is risen indeed, and hath appeared to Simon. And they told what things were done in the way, and how he was known of them in breaking of bread.
Mm-hmm.
And as they was thus,
So
and
now,
as they thus spake,
who were the two?
the two men, that is Cleopas and
Peter,
And Simon, Peter.
Simon Peter.
Okay. Now, when he said he came back to the 11, actually came back to the 10.
yeah.
Okay, read on. Try to keep the number straight. Okay, read on.
33.
Mhm.
And they rose up the same hour and returned to Jerusalem, and found the 11, should be 10, gathered together, and them that were with him, saying,
Mm-hmm.
Joshua is risen indeed, and hath appeared to Simon. And they told what things were done in the way, and how he was known of them in breaking of bread.
Mm-hmm.
And as they thus spake, Joshua himself stood in the midst of them, and said unto them, Peace be unto you. And they were terrified and affrighted, and supposed they had seen a ghost or a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, Why are you
They
troubled?
said they supposed they saw a spirit. Okay, read on.
And he said unto them, Why are you troubled?
Why are you troubled?
And why do thoughts arise in your heart?
Now what day is it? With that?
Same day. No, the next day.
What day? What day is
Go
it?
back. What did it say? Where was she at?
That's the same day.
Same day.
They rose up the same hour and returned to Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait a minute.
First day of the week.
This is the first day of the week, right? Same day you raised from the dead.
Okay.
They were 7.5 miles away,
Yeah.
so that would have to been,
I'm gonna walk in.
yeah,
Couple
good
days.
in the evening maybe.
Was that far away?
That's what it said, 7.5 miles away, we read somewhere.
Okay.
Emmaus was.
And he said unto them, why are you troubled, and why do thoughts arise in your hearts? Behold my hands and my feet, that it is I myself.
Now he's peering to him. He said, behold my hands and my feet. See, okay, read.
And see that it is I myself. Handle me,
Handle me
and see.
and see.
For a spirit hath not flesh and bones, as ye see me have.
Now he said, for a spirit. They were looking at a spirit. See? But he said, it has not flesh and bones as you see me have. So this was a special event for them to see him appearing, having flesh and bones. Why?
So he could prove to them that it was him.
Huh?
So he could prove to them that it was him.
That's true.
In fulfillment of Ezekiel 37.
In fulfillment of Ezekiel 37, 17. Valley of Dry Bones, right. Okay. Well, it's not 15. I meant to say the 37th chapter, beginning the first verse down, right? Okay. Okay. Continue reading.
And while they yet believed not with joy,
Mm-hmm.
and wondered, he said unto them, have ye any food?
Now you can understand the situation here. Here's a man that seemed to be crucified Friday. Now they were sorrowful he was gone. Then here we talk about, here's somebody said they see him. Now he's appearing to them all. And they're trying, in their mind, they're trying to absorb all this has happened. Here's a man that was dead, now he's alive. See? Now they've also had a witness already about their friend Lazarus. He was dead and now alive. But now he was raised a physical body again. But he had to die again. But now this is a different situation. He's still alive, and see, you remember John said he was dead, but now he's alive forevermore? See? Okay, read on.
And while they yet believed not with joy, and wondered, he said unto them, have you any food?
Have you any food?
And they gave him a piece of broiled fish, and of a honeycomb. And he took it and did eat before them. And he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you, while I was yet with you.
Now that body he had the capability, see, of eating. Because remember, he appeared as flesh to them, and eating flesh with them. That's also fulfilled by over there in the 18th chapter of Genesis, when those three men came to visit Abraham.
Right,
See, angels came and appeared and took on physical
right.
appearance to them, Abraham, and he ate with them. He prepared a ram for them to eat. So now it's got to be fulfilled. Okay. So we're talking about now. Bear in mind, we're talking about this same one. We're talking about Yahshua Messiah. He was the one. Said, "I am the resurrection and the life. I'm the door. I'm the light. I'm the good shepherd." I will be what I will to be. He's doing that to convince them that who he was. He had to appear to them 11 times for each one of the disciples to convince them that he was resurrected from the dead. See? Okay, now read on.
And he said unto them, these are the things which I spake unto you.
These are the things I spake to you while I was yet with you. Before I died, I told you we're going to go up to Jerusalem. They're going to be put in wicked man's hands, and they're going to kill me. Third day, I'm going to raise from the dead. Read on.
Which were written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me. Then opened he their understanding, that they might understand the scriptures.
Read.
And said unto them, thus it is written.
Thus it is written.
And thus it behooved
Time.
It behooved the Messiah.
That's the time.
Thus it is written, and it behooved the Messiah to suffer and to rise from the dead the third day.
The third day, right? Read.
And that repentance and remission of sins should be preached in his name.
So now the preaching of the gospel had to be preached in the name of Yahshua the Messiah, not in any other name. See? Preaching should be in his name, because his body was that which is approved of Yahweh, to have the blood to atone for our sins. So because of that, you gotta preach it in his name. Read that verse one more time. What's that, 37?
47.
47?
And that repentance
That repentance
and remission of sins
and remission of sins
should be preached in his name among all nations,
among all nations,
beginning at Jerusalem.
beginning at Jerusalem. See?
And ye are witnesses of these things.
Now I'm getting ready to send you out. You're going to be witnesses of these things.
And behold, I send the promise of my Father.
Behold,
upon you.
I send the promise of my Father. And that's what he's prophesying to him now. Because that's what's going to happen, see, 39 days from there. See, read.
The promise of my Father upon you. That's Abraham, what he promised Abraham.
Probably promised Abraham, what he promised Isaac, what he promised Jacob. That in his seed he's going to bless all the families of the earth.
The
Beginning
Holy
first
Spirit.
with the Jews, 7 years later, then it'll be the Gentiles. Okay, read.
Behold, I send the promise of my Father upon you. But tarry ye in the city of Jerusalem.
Well, now you tarry in Jerusalem
until you be endued
until you
with
be
power
endued with
on
power
high.
on high.
And he led them out as far as Bethany, and he lifted up his hands and blessed them. And it came to pass, while he blessed them, he was parted from them and carried up into heaven. And they worshipped him and returned to Jerusalem with great joy.
So now he went all the way from that day all the way down to the day he ascended, which was 40 days later he ascended, okay? And that's what the Messiah did tell him, to tarry there in Jerusalem till you receive the promise of the Father. Now, 10 days after he ascended, it was when the promise of the Father came, when they received the Holy Spirit. See? Now, when they were told to go to Jerusalem, he said for them to tarry there. See? They went there and got busy trying to find somebody to take Jesus' place. See? You can't be, they got to help Yahweh out some way. See? Jews had been killed, so they found this who was sitting his office or somebody take. So they want to go back and find somebody to take Judas' place. See? And they go around and they picked, and then they went about and they picked 2 men that had been around with him, traveled around with him, seen some of the things that Joshua done. See? And then they said, they started rolling dice then. See? Which one of these 2, they asking Yahweh, which one of these 2 that they chose to take Judas' place? And the lot fell upon Matthias. See? Now, 10 days later, they're going to find out what it's going to be Matthias. But when they got the spirit of understanding, they see Yahweh's going to have to bring that one in later on, which was the Apostle Saul. And he came and replaced Judas. Yes.
What we just read there about where after they recognized him and the disciples gave the Messiah a piece of fish, boiled fish, and honeycomb, that was a different time than what John records when they were out fishing and then he's.
Yep.
But in both cases, that's my question, in both cases, would it be, being that they resurrected, they recognized that he had resurrected, him eating the fish, are both cases symbolic of him swallowing up the grave or overcoming the grave?
Yep.
So you could use that correlation in this case also?
But the one that when you read the one over in the
John
21st chapter of John, that would be the more accurate one because it's telling with they were fishing.
Right.
And they put the fish in, and he had already prepared the fish. Because he prepared the fish, he's showing about the same way he prepared for Jonah back here. So he's showing that he had prepared the fish back there, so he had to prepare the fish. The fish that Jonah was in was like the grave of the tomb. So he prepared the fish in his own clothes, but come and eat, die.
In this case, the disciples are the ones that prepared the fish. So,
You only had 7 there at that time.
okay.
See, because he fulfilled. He had 7 there because we got Jonah with 8.
Okay.
8 from there. Okay. I've got it down there pretty well on time. Did pretty good. We had some more to read in John, but that's all right. We'll talk about it later. I hope it's been beneficial. I hope it's been helpful. Go back, read it again, and then go back and see if you understand it any better. Thank you very much.